Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to another edition of Grade 5 Science. Today's topic is conservation. But just in case you're not feeling motivated, remember the words of Marie Curie. Nothing in life is to be feared, it is only to be understood. Now is the time to understand more so that we may fear less. So what are you waiting for? Grab a pencil and a notebook, get settled, we're about to start. To begin today's lesson, I will recite a short poem for you. The name of this poem is I Shall Protect the Forest. The poem was written by Lenore Hetrick. Have you ever really looked at trees and seen their perfect beauty? If you have, you would know their protection is a stern and sacred duty. Protection of that spreading gander through many summers grown, safeguarding of those temple green where the songs of birds are known. Then remember that the forest fire is an enemy to fight. It is a tree's assassin to be watched both day and night. A campfire left unguarded or a match tossed carelessly may bring destruction with great loss and deepest tragedy. When next you see the wide-flung branches of a graceful pine, think to yourself, a sacred service is part and parcel of mine. I resolve to protect all trees forever and guard their heaven-sent beauty. To save the forests of our land shall ever be my duty. Okay, boys and girls, I trust that you would have enjoyed that poem. The essence of the poem really is to tell us about the importance of conservation. But what exactly is conservation? To understand this term, we must first understand what are the resources. A resource is anything useful. It helps us to achieve our goals and fulfill our life's function. There are two types of resources, namely renewable resources and non-renewable resources. Renewable resources can be replaced within 100 years. However, non-renewable resources cannot be replaced within 100 years. Let's look at each type individually. First, we'll look at renewable resources. Some resources are renewable, which means they can be replaced. Living things such as plants and animals are examples of renewable resources because they can reproduce themselves. But renewable resources can still be damaged or destroyed. For example, people may catch too many of one type of fish. If not enough fishes are left to reproduce, then that species of fish may die out. Conservation helps people to manage renewable resources so they are kept in good supply. Now let's look at non-renewable resources. Non-renewable resources cannot be replaced. Fossil fuels such as coal and petroleum are examples of non-renewable resources. Minerals such as iron are also non-renewable resources. People can conserve non-renewable resources by using them carefully. They can also look for other resources that serve the same purpose. For example, people can use less petroleum by using other types of fuel instead, such as solar energy and hydropower energy. Conservation is the protection of all things found in nature. It's an action word. It requires the sensible use of all Earth's natural resources, such as water, soil, minerals, wildlife, and forests. People who care about conservation try to preserve natural resources so they will still be around in the future. They also try to keep the environment clean and healthy. Are you ready to be one of those persons? Conservation can be challenging because it requires people to give up the things that make their lives easier. For example, cars make travel easy, but they also produce a lot of air pollution. To have cleaner air, people can choose to drive less and walk more, or perhaps use a bicycle. Such changes can be hard when people have gotten used to a certain way of living. Money is also another reason why conservation can be challenging. For example, a timber company might be able to protect forest animals by limiting the amount of trees they cut. But the company might not be willing to do this because it will make less money. Also, factories might not want to spend money to clean up the messes they make. Knowing about all the good that can come around by simply conserving our resources, one might ask themselves, how can we conserve our resources? Everyone can contribute to conservation in one way or another. People can recycle paper, plastic, glass, and other materials. Recycling saves resources by reusing materials that would otherwise be thrown away. Industries can limit the amount of pollution they create. Governments can make laws that keep the air and water clean. They can also have a set of land that is specifically set aside as national parks. These parks will protect land and animals in their natural state. However, here are some simple ways in which you and I can conserve our natural resources. The first one is to use less water. Taking shorter showers or turning off the faucet while brushing your teeth can reduce water waste in your home. Only use your dishwasher or washing machine when there is a full load, and switch to energy-saving appliances if possible. Another way we can conserve our natural resources is by turning off the lights. That's right, the simple act of turning off lights or televisions after you leave the room can help to conserve resources. We can unplug appliances like portable air conditioners, toasters, coffee makers when we don't use them, as they can contribute to the use of small amounts of electricity. Another method of conserving resources would be to recycle. Making new products requires the use of resources, but recycling helps to reuse the materials we already have. Manufacturing fewer new materials can reduce waste, which helps to decrease water and air pollution. Find a center that accepts items like plastic bottles, cardboards, or aluminum for recycling. You can also switch to paperless billing and buy recycled paper to limit the need for logging and deforestation. Here is a fun activity that you can try at home. You know those paper rolls that can be found in the middle of the kitchen paper towel or toilet paper? Those rolls are extremely useful. While it may seem hard to think of many things to do with them, the abundance of those rolls has caused many persons to become creative, and you can be creative too. For example, you can use the paper rolls to make a pen holder or a makeup brush holder for mom, as shown in the picture below. Another method of conserving our resources is by means of compost. Composting is a great way to convert your food scraps into useful materials for your garden. Composting enriches your soil and reduces the need for watering by improving runoff, which reduces soil erosion. Composting also attracts beneficial organisms that can cut down on the need of pesticides or harmful chemicals. Composting also encourages sustainability and can lessen the amount of waste and pollution produced by food waste. We can also practice conservation by choosing to use reusable products. Avoiding single-use plastics is another way to conserve resources. Instead of buying water bottles, plastic cups, and paper plates, you can buy ceramic, metal, or glassware. These materials are reusable. We can also use fabric grocery bags rather than plastic bags. Okay, boys and girls, today we learned about resources, conservation, and how we can conserve our resources properly. However, it's time for us to go. I'm sad to leave you, but I trust that you would have enjoyed today's lesson. And remember the words of Marie Curie: nothing in life is to be feared, it is only to be understood. Thank you once again for tuning in, and goodbye.